All right. Sorry for being a few minutes late. Hope you're all well. Welcome.
Very well.
Okay, so today's January 24th. Welcome to our technology committee. We can have a roll call, please.
Councilmember Rodriguez Jackson, Supervisor Bartlett,
Here.
Mayor Mitchell,
Here.
Councilmember Buscaino.
Here. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's take item number 1, please.
Mr. Chairman, I need to announce that I do not have a financial interest or a conflict of interest in item 1, but it involves California Air Resources Board, and I'm a member of that board. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mitchell.
Good afternoon. This item is, I'm Patricia Kwan in the Technology Demonstration Group. This item is to amend and execute contracts for data collection of zero-emission heavy-duty infrastructure and other equipment. So this is part of the Global Lights project, which the board approved in November 2018 for $44.8 million from CARB. And as part of this action, the board also approved a contract with UCR CSER for $1.1 million. And at the time, UCR planned to subcontract a portion of the data collection for off-road equipment and solar to CalSTART. But because this is going through the Business Services Division, they're unable to subcontract for these types of services. So they've asked us to amend a contract with UCR to reduce that amount and to have that portion go to CalSTART to perform the data collection on the off-road equipment, the solar and the infrastructure, with the same amount of CARB funding remaining. So this is the proposed funding. It would be $836,000 for UCR CSER and $260,000 for CalSTART for the $1.1 million. And so the recommended action would be to amend a contract with UCR to reduce that amount and to execute a contract with CalSTART in an amount not to exceed $260,000. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you so much. Any members of the public wish to speak on item 1? No one here in Los Angeles.
No one here.
Thank you. Any questions or comments, members? Okay, hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve item 1.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Did I hear someone had a question, or we're good? Okay, we got a motion and a second. We have a roll call vote, please, on item 1.
Supervisor Bartlett,
Yes.
Mayor Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilmember Buscaino.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you so much. Let us now turn to our second and final item on the agenda, item number 2. And do we have a staff presentation on item 2?
Yes, we're bringing it up right now, Councilman.
Thank you, Wayne.
Good afternoon. I'm Lisa Mirasola, Program Supervisor in Technology Demonstration. This item is to request renewal for California Fuel Cell Partnership membership for 2020, and also to receive and file meeting agendas and activity updates. So by way of background, AQMD has been a member of the California Fuel Cell Partnership since 2000. There are 17 current members of the executive board, and they have the decision-making body. In addition, there are 33 full and associate members at reduced rates and with reduced participation. They participate in different technical committees and steering committee. And the membership has been stable. There have been a few new members join, a few leave, but overall it's been a just kind of a transition, stable year. And so CEC is continuing membership for 2020. And for 2019, the highlights, basically last year they continued retail production and deployment of vehicles, including buses, transit buses, and demonstration of trucks. So basically the implementation of medium and heavy duty fuel cell electric vehicles is ongoing, so there's monthly meetings to discuss priority activities for that group. And they completed and released a roadmap for zero-emission fuel cell electric transit buses to help the transit agencies in their decision-making as CARB basically implements their zero-emission transit bus rule. And Fuel Cell Partnership has increased the presence in Southern California by a number of activities that will be described on a later slide. So there's links to those reports and plans if you're interested. And just to highlight a few of those events, these were Fuel Cell Partnership staff-supported activities with members in our region. So in June, we went to the Korean American Energy Association and presented updates on hydrogen and fuel cell vehicle deployment activities in our region. And then in Riverside in September, El Dorado National Fuel Cell had an open house at their facility. And you can see there's a Sunline bus and other buses that El Dorado has been working on at their facility in Riverside. And then in November, at the Fuel Cell Seminar and Energy Expo, Kenworth and Toyota displayed their third zero-emission fuel cell truck. And this is the first prototype of 10 that they'll be developing together for deployment in our region. So the goals for 2020 is to continue expanded vehicle rollout and support the first 200 hydrogen stations and longer term ways to reach 1,000 stations with supportive customer interface tools. They're also actively monitoring the new CEC announcement of additional funding available for developing stations. They're also providing forums and opportunities for members to collaborate and expand their stakeholder base. Many of the industrial members want to have additional activities at the national level. So we'll be continuing to monitor that development over the next year. Also at Fuel Cell Partnership, they're finding new ways to educate, promote hydrogen and fuel cell vehicles and to accelerate commercial adoption. And the overall budget is stable from 2019 to 2020, just a slight reduction. So next year, the 2020 Executive Board Chair will be Sandra Berg from CARB, and the Vice Chair will be Jerome Gregoy from Hyundai. So for recommended actions, we request that you renew the membership for 2020, the level not to exceed $70,000. That level has been stable for several years now. And provide additional support for regional coordinator and infrastructure development activities by staff in our region not to exceed $50,000. So we're continuing to coordinate with staff as we identify new priorities for us to be involved in. And also receive and file the executive board meeting agenda and the second and third quarter activity updates. Apologies, this was corrected in the board letter, but it did not get corrected in the slides. And with that, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you so much. Any questions, comments?
Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Yes, Ms. Mitchell.
So how many fueling stations do we have in California now?
Okay, CEC has funded 43. There are 40 that are active on the operating station website. So a couple stations are currently, if they're not actively available for customers, if they're undergoing a longer term maintenance or upgrade, then they take them off that reporting. So there's, so basically hopefully we'll get those 3 back online.
It said that you expect them to do 100. You're going to build 100. What's the timeline on that?
The next round of funding for CEC, basically they have $45 million available for their solicitation this year, up to $115 million by 2023, and that should be enough to leverage and get the private invested needed to get to 100 stations.
Okay,
So
so that's
they're-
2023.
Yes, so their RFP basically awards, they're expecting stations to be built within 18 months. And they have additional criteria in their recent solicitation that hopefully will ensure that that happens.
Okay, great, thank you.
As far as I had a question on the governance structure, how are the officers elected? Do they, or are the positions swapped out or rotated, I should say?
Yes, they're rotated. The chair is rotated between industry sectors, and that sector agrees which one should be the chair or the represented member next year. But each organization provides their own executive board member.
And I know Ms. Mitchell, Ms. Barnett can attest to this. You know, we have our League of California Cities, the National League of Cities. We also have regional boards that involve our cities and counties pay for membership dues. This is one that I feel is important to continue. We have access to leaders in this the tech industry, and so I would support and move the staff recommendation.
Second.
All right, can anyone, a member of the public would like to speak on item 2? No one here in Los Angeles.
Need a vote.
So with that, how about we have a motion, a second, and a roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Bartlett,
Yes.
Mayor Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilmember Buscaino.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you. Any other business for this committee? Any general public comment? Members of the public like to speak on a non-agenda item, please come forward. Anyone in Diamond Bar?
No one here.
No one here in Los Angeles, therefore we are now adjourned. Thank you. Have a great, blessed weekend.